I taught in Wichita Falls, and I moved there, and she began kindergarten here when I moved back in the fall. But I was in a situation where I was teaching 130 to 40 students every day through my doors, and I didn't want that for my daughter. I wanted my daughter to receive the personalized education like I received here, and the love and support of this community to go with that.
I just encourage the staff to, and the teachers and everybody else in the office, just have a wonderful year. Just be happy, enjoy life, and just take it to the fullest that you can.
I just wanted to share about how my family came to Silverton Independent School District. My son was a student at a private school that we paid a lot of money for him to attend, and I drove 120 miles a day for him to attend. And so not only was it a financial burden, it was also a physical burden, on myself and my husband. But we wanted the best for him. We paid a lot of money to go to this school, and also to, it was just a lot of time. It was time consuming to even take him to the school. And the last meeting I had at that meeting was the last time I was at that school, we were at an ARD meeting. And the administrator of the school told me, "There's nothing else we can do for your son." When I left that meeting, I was angry. Of course, I was sad for my son because he didn't know any other school. And so a few days later, I got a phone call from a lady that I didn't know. I had heard of her, but I didn't know her. And she told me that as a private school, our ARD meetings have to be attended by someone from the public school system. And so one of the girls that she knew was in that meeting and was very disturbed by what had happened. And she said, "I'm not calling you in any other capacity except as a mother." And she said, "I think you should go to Silverton School and talk to people and check it out, just see, what you think of Silverton." So I walked in the door, and when I walked in the door, it was like walking back to my old junior high. That heavy metal door that shuts behind you, and the creaking floor in the principal's office. All that was familiar to me and comfort. I met Mr. Gore, and I met Mrs. Francis and Mrs. Young, and they were all excited at the possibility that my son would be coming to their school. They were excited, which meant a lot to me as a mom. Knowing what we had been through the past 4 years. In all the time that we've been at Silverton, there's not been one ARD meeting, one one-on-one meeting with a teacher, an administrator, a principal. I haven't received one email, one phone call, one text message, and believe me, there's been a lot. Nobody has ever given up my kid.
Just something that comes to mind as I think about our school and our community. Every year since I've been here, we've had a community Thanksgiving meal, and we sort of work on that through the churches, but it's not just a church effort. It really becomes a community thing. But that's hosted every year, not necessarily hosted by the school, but the school allows us to gather together in the cafeteria and have this community meal. The first Thanksgiving that we were here, when we left that time together, it really did have an impact on me. Just thinking about how we come together in this town, and that's such a unique thing. We have different areas and places where we can meet, and we work together to shape our kids. Whether it's at Rock Salt, whether it's at one of our community events, whether it's something that's happening for the school. I love how Silverton comes together for the kids. So I appreciate Silverton a lot.
One thing I was impressed by is for a little while I got to substitute, and when I was at the elementary, when I was substituting for one of the elementary teachers and we would be all out for recess, I would see the teachers interacting with the children, probably much the same way I would maybe in Sunday school, just reminding them of how to behave and the way they speak, and it's Christian characteristics that I saw when I was there, and I'm not sure if that's really good. I love how the elementary school really helps with Kids in Christ, helping them kind of gather up on Wednesdays after school so they can walk across the street. And I know there's even teachers that come straight from working a long day at school and helping out at church right after there to teach the students who come a Bible lesson. I love how the school invites our church and each church in the community to host a fifth quarter. It's such a good way to get to know more kids in the community than just the ones that come to our church, and a good way to minister them. This is just a really good place to work in ministry and live.